Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus here with a review in honor of a fellow YouTuber who goes by the name of
Some Scottish Guy.
I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's spelled like this. Many embarrassingly long months ago,
Some Scottish Guy.
or
Some Scottish Guy.
what, my friend Wang, sent me a message saying that he had some thoughts in regards to the Iron Man movie toy line, which I have covered once or twice here on the Vangelus review. And he told me that he'd found for extremely cheap on sale an Iron Man from the Armor Designs Whatever Thing series that addressed many issues I had with the red and gold Iron Man that I'd bought from the first wave of the movie toys. And I said, man, that's cool, but I have never seen those armor design guy dudes around here, and I still have rarely ever seen them, like the Captain America Patriot Iron Man or stuff like that. So then he told me, hey, I actually bought 2 of them to take advantage of the sale, and do you want one? And I was like, well, sure, where are you? He said, Scotland. I said, that's kind of far. He says, yeah, but funny thing is, I'm going to be in Canada in a couple weeks, and I could actually mail it from Canada. So I said, well, sure, thank you very much. And it arrived, and he was right! This Iron Man takes all the Iron Manity of this one, admittedly paints it black and gray, and then adds in all the design improvements, in my opinion, from guys like the Titanium Man. And let me tell you, it really works out well. The Stealth Striker armor is a really effective action figure. All of the joints are super cool and super tight and super usable. And the one that I really was coming down on, at least, I'm not sure if I did in the video, but on the inside, I was totally coming down on the red and gold Iron Man because I found that moving his head was severely limited. I mean, he could move it left and right, but it was on this super tight ball joint, and he couldn't really fly all that well. Well, this guy adds in an entire cut joint in there, so he can look the hell up. And that alone made me fall in love with this design. But then I noticed something else, and that's that, hey, this sculpting all seems a little bit different. Every part of this guy is a completely new sculpt, and I was assuming this dude was just going to be a black repaint with a backpack. But no, almost all of his components are completely new. And that also impressed me. As I said, I've not really seen any other parts of this Armor Concept series, so maybe this is just a thing that they all do, but I was really taken by surprise, especially by a really cool feature, which is these shoulder pads. Now, these ones definitely don't pop off. And not only do they not pop off, but there's 2 layers of them. Like, check this out. There's 2 layers of shoulder pads. You can have it all the way down, you can have it up with the second pad down, or you can slide the second pad up. I mean, that's wicked cool! Maybe it's a little bit petty, or it's something that's not that impressive to be so struck into awe by, but for me, that was one of my favorite discoveries about this guy. Now, all of his excellent posability aside, although he still does have the somewhat derpy Hasbro hips, which I just don't really understand, but somehow they make more sense to me on this guy, and maybe it's just because I'm so biased from all the other improvements I've found on him. But since he is the Stealth Striker Iron Man, he does come with his Stealth Striker backpack, because being in a flying robot suit with fins all over it isn't enough. You also gotta add in more fins! And yeah, this actually isn't all that impressive. I mean, like, they fold in this much, they pop out that much. I mean, they don't even come out all the way, and I don't know. I mean, I can see the idea behind it, and it is kind of neat how they work in tandem with all these other fins all over his body to be all streamlined, and then if you want, you can have it so it's like his shoulders are like this, or they're here, now they're air braking, and then his jetpack falls off, and he's like, ah! But basically, I like how these shoulders add to the whole thing of whatever stage of flight you want to put him in, or if he's air braking, or if he's going full-on aerodynamic. Now, this thing, you know, it has 2 tabs and a peg, and somehow it's still not very tight on there. If you shake him, it's okay, but you really shake him, and it comes off. I found that this thing falls off way more often than I'd like it to, but at the same time, for all the knocks I have against it, I actually kind of like the look it adds. I mean, it's completely over the top, and it's almost unnecessary. This is like putting wings on a rocket booster that can float, but Something about it works. Although, again, this whole folding them up thing, I mean, like, and then having it fall, oh my god! And then having it fall off, I mean, like, I don't know. The folded up component of this doesn't really make all that much sense to me. It's kind of a waste of time. But when they're out, you know, it's a cool addition, and it does add a nice big block of plastic to, help further entice one to want to pick this up. I guess the only real problem I have with this guy, outside of those little things, is, while I do love that he has a repulsor blast hand that, thanks to a lack of a giant knuckle guard, can actually do a repulsor blast, I wish he did a little bit more, because for all these awesome improvements, he is a kind of a black repaint with a jetpack, and I don't know, I was kind of hoping that... Oh my god! I was kind of hoping that I could find a red and gold Iron Man with all these improvements. Maybe there is one out there, I admit I didn't really do much research, but where was I? Oh right, yeah, my other little problem is that he has a fist and an open hand, and I really wish that they just had swappable hands or something, because this is like every Iron Man I've seen has this whole thing of like he has one hand open, one hand clenched, and no matter what you do, that's the way it is. So he can always go like this, he can always do the whole like, oh, I'm pounding the ground and looking up, but I don't know, I wish that he could have a symmetrical hand layout in some way. But then again, swappable hands, that's really not a North American toy thing, and I dig why. Maybe, you know, it would be cool if they were both open, you could, like, fold the fingers closed to kind of look like a fist, but what you gonna do? Regardless, if you do think Iron Man is cool, and you don't mind Armor Concept Series kind of stuff, I would highly recommend this guy, because this is a dead solid toy. Everything about it is generally awesome. The only real criticisms I have are the closed form of the backpack and the way it falls off, and the asymmetrical hands, and really, those are tiny, tiny, petty things to bring up, because generally this toy is very recommendable. I gotta give thanks again to
Some Scottish Guy
for passing this on to me for free, as, I guess, a toy donation. Or, I guess it's the ultimate way to prove your point that a toy is pretty good by sending it to someone. It also came in a pretty cool airbrush box. I was actually a little sad, because I was like, wow, someone sent me an airbrush. Oh, it's not an airbrush. But hey, it's a cool Iron Man toy. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus. I hope that this sort of sidetrack of a review entertained or informed you in some way, and really, this is just my way of saying thanks to
Some Scottish Guy,
because I really, really do like this figure, and I don't know, if I can hunt down more Armor Concept stuff for cheap, I definitely will, because this is a great first impression. Until next time, kiddies, let's fly! Oh god!